Welcome back to another episode of Wrenchin' and Ridin'. We're in Genesis 37, Joseph's dream. And Jacob dwelled in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, that he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. And behold, we are binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and they obeisance to my sheaf. Bowed down somehow. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, and shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him, and yet they mourned of his dreams, and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and told to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed more, and behold, the sun and moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves unto thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. Joseph sold to merchants. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel went unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and we will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee. I will see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. A certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, and for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when he saw him far off, even when he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. How now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him in a pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And he came to pass then, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat, and his coat of many colors, colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lift up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, and their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let us our hands not be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. And they passed by the Midianites' merchantmen, and they drew the lift up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites, and with 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and they rent his clothes. And he returned to his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and brought it to their father, and said, This have we found now, whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put his sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. Genesis 38, Judah and Tamar. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren, and turned in a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw the daughter of certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her, and went in to her, and she conceived, and bare a son. And he called his name And she conceived again, and bare him a son. She called his name Onan. And she again conceived, and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was of Chizeb when she bare him. And Judah took her a wife for and firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go unto thy brother's wife, marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass that when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother. And this, I believe, is a big-time sin. He gets punished later. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. And he said Judah to Tamar his wife-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, and Shelah son be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he dies also. And his brethren did, and Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath. And his friend Hira, an Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which was by the way of Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she was covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, and thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet in thy bracelet, and thy staff in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and came unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid by herself veil from her, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adullamite, and received his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. And when he asked the men at the place, saying, Where is the harlot that openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of this place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Behold, I sent the kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, that it was told to Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoever. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, where I am with child. And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, by the signet and bracelet and staff. And Judah acknowledged them, and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah thy son. And he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass that he drew back in his hand, that, behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterwards came out his brother, who had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zorah. And that is Genesis 38. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell if you want notifications. Check out Mike Rood's teaching if you want to really get an in-depth view of the Word. Thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed day.